You're watching The Perch. A hawk's eye view of SU.
Hello, fans, and welcome back to the Perch podcast, our second podcast of all time, where every week you get a hawk's eye view of SU. I'm Cole McMahon, joined here with Jacob Greene. Jacob, how you doing?
Not great after this last NFL Championship Sunday.
Yeah, I think in all of America, it's the exact matchup that nobody wanted. We had the Washington Commanders to start off versus the Philadelphia Eagles, two NFC East competitors going at it, and the Eagles just completely stomped on the Commanders 55-23. And one of the biggest headlines of this game was the 4 turnovers that Washington had. Jaden Daniels going into his rookie season, going into his first NFC Championship game. I had high expectations for him. If you saw our last episode, me and Jacob did our predictions. I predicted the Commanders to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't think the Eagles are going to completely blow them out like this. I didn't think Jalen Hurts was going to have a solid game that he did. I did expect Saquon to do the things that Saquon did, and he did that right off the bat. But let's get back to those 4 turnovers that Washington had. This is the thing that basically decimated the Commanders in this game. I mean, you're not going to win any games, especially in the playoffs if you lose the ball 4 times, Jacob.
I said it last episode. Defense wins championships, and it also wins ball games.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if we look at the turnovers here, Diami Brown, that was earlier in the game, towards the beginning of the game, he had a fumble. Jeremy McNichols, who's actually a former 49er, a shout out to him, not for this though, he had a fumble on a kickoff, and it led to Philadelphia having the ball on their own 24-yard line, which resulted, I believe, in a touchdown for the Eagles. And then late in the third quarter, Austin Eckler with another fumble. I mean, I don't know what the Commanders did. They obviously didn't sleep with the footballs with them the night before the game, or they had some Butterfingers before the game. These guys were fumbling the ball left and right, down 15 points for that last fumble. Then Jaden Daniels had an interception. That was the thing that basically killed Washington's chances of staying in this game with the Eagles. I think if they don't make those turnovers, it's a complete different outcome. I think honestly the Commanders do win this game. I mean,
yeah, it's a whole different ball game. Two turnovers is still bad, but I think it's manageable, especially in the playoffs when you have a great team like Washington does. But unfortunately,
yeah, I mean, 2 turnovers earlier in the game. It's bad, but not as bad as having turnovers throughout all 4 quarters, all 4 phases of the game. And then we get down to what the Eagles did. Saquon, the cheat code Barkley. And just right now, Ryan Gavin walked by with his girlfriend, Hannah Parsons, who are also our fellow RAs of me and Jacob. That's why we're laughing.
Res Life.
Shout out Res Life,
and
guys.
The men's golf team and the women's basketball team slash
nurse,
team.
Nursing, yeah.
Oh, yeah, nursing. Shout out HP.
Shout out HP. But back to Saquon. It's the first play the Eagles ran after the Commanders scored on first off was what I saw after the Commanders. They had a dominating first drive. They went 18 plays, I think, for like 12 minutes in the first quarter, 8 minutes in the first quarter, only resulted in 3 points. But then the Eagles came back. Saquon decided, I'm just going to run a 60-yard touchdown, which he's been doing all year long. Decides to spin around some defenders and scores. And off of that, you should have known that this game was put away for the Eagles. I mean, what do you think about Saquon Barkley's season? And he's still doing it now in the playoffs.
So I saw today that Skip Bayless had a take, as a Cowboys fan, shout out Ron, just that he wasn't worried about Saquon going to the Eagles. And you know what I have to say to Skip Bayless's take on that, Cole? Stay off the weed. It's a horrible take.
Stay off the weed.
Help you out there a little bit, Jacob. Yeah, Skip Bayless, Cowboys fan. Eagles hater. Terrible take. Saquon's arguably top 3, especially this season, probably the best running back in the league this season, rushing for 2,000 plus yards, almost took out Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. Granted, he had one more extra game to do it. He still didn't do it. I think it's because they sat him out the last game. But Saquon, I love the guy. I hate the Eagles, so I was happy for Saquon doing what he did. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Saquon, 118 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, putting the team on his back. And then Jalen Hurts, which I was surprised about. I'm not a big fan of Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's a great quarterback. He's got a great team that surrounds him, so he's able to execute. But he threw 246 passing yards, had a passing touchdown, and then 3 rushing touchdowns. And I think 2 of those were the tush push, which I don't know if you can even count those as real rushing touchdowns.
If if Josh Allen's first down does not count as a first down, the tush push does not count.
Which is what we're going to get into a little bit later. Josh Allen, heartbreaking loss for them. But yeah, the tush push just gets on my nerves. It's practically a touchdown every single time. The Commanders, though, in the game did stop at one time. But there was a time where they're on the goal line again. I don't know if you saw this, Jacob, but the Commanders kept trying to jump over. I forgot who it was.
Oh,
one of their linebackers kept jumping over the line, causing it was what was it called? Encroachment call on him multiple times. And the ref said, if you guys keep doing it, we're gonna just give the Eagles 6 points. And I didn't know the refs are able to grant teams points.
Yeah, not to get on the Bills-Chiefs game too much again, but it's a good thing that's not a call that they make when Patrick Mahomes gets tackled.
Right. Once Mahomes finds out about that, he's gonna be using that to his advantage.
I didn't know the refs had that power. That's insane. I mean,
yeah,
we should be glad it's
checks
only a
and
15-minute
balances,
penalty.
right? There's no checks there.
No checks, no balance.
Yeah, that's a little too much. But yeah, I mean, Eagles going to the Super Bowl in first time in 2 seasons now, and it's going to be another Super Bowl rematch. Again, nothing that America wants to see, but it's going to happen. So I guess now we could transition over to the most heartbreaking game in America, and definitely for me. I had a floor event on Cooper's second floor, actually, with a lot of people. We're all watching the game, got some Little Caesars pizza. Some people complain Little Caesars. It's not my favorite pizza, but it's cost efficient, all right? I got you guys pizzas. Don't complain about it.
That's Little Caesars or Domino's or Costco. Like, that's the big 3.
Exactly, it's the big 3.
That'd be a fun little segment to throw on here.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That's a good idea. Buffalo, Kansas City. In Kansas City, Josh Allen, will he finally get over the hump, take the monkey off his back, and beat Patrick Mahomes in the NFC Championship game? It didn't happen. He was 0 for 3, and now he's 0 and 4. And for even the last game, I didn't put this out, but I got to do it as much as it's going to hurt me. But
I like my suitcase.
I don't like the Bills suitcase for this circumstance. Unfortunately, they got packed up. They're going home with the Commanders. They can, book some hotels together in Cabo. 32-29 was the final score. It was a back and forth game. I mean, from the start of it, it was looking like the Chiefs had the upper hand, but then I was kind of assuming the Bills are going to get back into this in the second half of the game. Josh Allen made it competitive, did stuff with his legs, did stuff with his arm in Josh Allen fashion. But the biggest headlines of this game and going into this game was, what are the refs and what are these penalties going to look like in this game? We've seen it all year long, and it's just something that's kind of been boiling over with NFL fans, and even in just the media are starting to point it out too, that it's looking like referees are skewing games for the Chiefs. And I don't know what your take is on that, Jacob, but it looks like it's something plausible.
Yeah. No, anytime you're working against not only an elite quarterback, but also the refs, it's going to change the balance of a game. And if one or two games can change the outcome of a game, and we see that in sports all the time, tempo, just momentum in general plays such a big role in games, especially playoff games on your home turf too. Yeah. So if you have momentum going your way that whole time, there's just no stopping you. And again, we saw it too all season long. The Chiefs spent, I think, not a lot of time winning football games, and still ended up being 15 and
2,
15 and 2,
something like that. Yeah.
However many weeks we have in the season.
Yeah.
But
18 weeks, 17
wins.
games. Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, one of the reasons why most of America hates the Chiefs and this dynasty that they have. And we could kind of compare it to the Patriots dynasty that they have. But the thing is, like, it just seems so blatant that these refs are helping Patrick Mahomes. Like, the roughing the passer calls that other teams aren't getting. Like Josh Allen, I think there was a play where he got pelted to the ground. No roughing the passer called. I don't think there was any roughing the passer on Mahomes this game. But the prior game before, I mean, that guy just does flops and everything, and it's just kind of getting ridiculous now. You see Andy Reid on the sidelines talking to referees. It's basically a 2v1 for any team facing Kansas City. And, I mean, me and my dad talked about it anytime the Niners would play him in the Super Bowl this last season before. And going into this game, I was saying the only way that the Buffalo can win this game is if it's like a two possession game. They have to win by 2 possessions. or else a close game. Mahomes is going to have some miracle play, or what we saw at the end of the game. The Chiefs dialed up a blitz, and nothing. The Chiefs are just unstoppable when it comes down to close games like that. And that brings us again to the no taunting call on Travis Kelce after Mahomes ran in for a touchdown. That's a penalty for 31 other teams. They don't give it to Kelce. Kelce went up to a defender's face and, I don't know, rubbed it in basically.
Yeah, he did something.
Yeah.
It looked like he was just rubbing it in, but probably said more behind the helmet. You can't see, but
I guess that's not taunting for the Chiefs. And then, the last play of the game, Josh Allen, they're driving down the field a little bit. Unfortunately, it ended up being 4th and 6. It was going to be tough. 4th and long like that, 4th and medium, especially against this Chiefs defense. Steve Spagnuolo, best defensive coordinator in this league. I think one of the reasons why the Chiefs are so successful and why they continue to win these Super Bowls, because the man just dials up these crazy plays. And I've seen it multiple times now in the playoffs or to end games. I saw it against Houston. I think it was the last play of the game. Spagnuolo dialed up another blitz where he had 2 unblocked defenders, and this happened in this game against the Bills. And just absolutely took Josh Allen out. Josh Allen just lobbed it up there for, I think, what's his name, Dalton Kincaid or something like that, and he couldn't come down with the ball, couldn't hold on to it, and just wasn't able to keep the Bills' Super Bowl hopes alive.
And even on that play, there was a lot of contact going into it, but, nothing that warranted a flag.
Right.
Unless it was the opposite way around. It would have been
They're most likely would.
flying.
And they're actually on the play. There was a flag that showed up on the screen. I don't think there was one on the field, and then it got taken away. And everyone on Twitter was like, they probably had that flag ready to go in case he caught the ball for offensive PI or something like that to help out the Chiefs. But if he gets that, they're in field goal range by then. I think they would have gone for the touchdown just to ice the game if they were to get that first down. But that's all speculation there. But yeah, it's gonna be Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl rematch, the rematch no one wants to see. And Super Bowl predictions, I'm actually going to project the Eagles to win this one solely because of Saquon Barkley. I know I'm sounding delusional. I probably sound like the biggest Chiefs hater of all time, but I'm trying to manifest it out there in the world. I think it's going to be a 33-30 win for the Eagles. We saw it last time they played. It was a crazy game. I actually didn't watch that Super Bowl because of how mad I was, but that's a conversation for another time. That last Super Bowl against the two teams, 38-35. I think it's going to be a 3-point game, 33-30. Saquon Barkley is going to be the Super Bowl MVP, 180 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Jacob, what are your predictions?
I can only hope for that outcome. I think they'll get the 3-peat. We'll hear all the GOAT talks. Better than Brady. He's not. I'll just leave it at that. Also, Brady went to Michigan, so he's better automatically. That's my take.
Yeah, do you have a score prediction or not yet?
Chiefs winning by black magic.
Chiefs winning by black magic.
One score game.
One score game.
Just
okay.
somehow.
I like that. Yeah, I don't like that the Chiefs. You have the Chiefs winning, but yeah, I mean it's probably more reasonable than me.
I hope the Eagles win, but I just feel like the Chiefs are they'll find a way.
Yeah. And we also have something dialed up for this episode. Quinn,
Literally.
Jacob, do we have Quinn?
We have Quinn coming in.
Our
right
first
now.
caller
Oh my
in the
gosh.
Perch history. If he answers the phone, we got Quinn Wright.
That bass tone is awesome. Hello, Quinn, and welcome to
All
the
right.
Perch podcast. It's me and Cole on the other end of this line.
How's it going, Quinn?
Good. How are you, Cole?
Pretty good. So Quinn,
Good.
you're a diehard Bills fan, right?
I am. Yes, sir.
And I'm sure your heart is broken after this loss. Josh Allen going 0 for 4 now against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. What are your feelings right now?
It's been a tough day, Cole. Last night was rough. Like you said, I'm a diehard Bills fan, and every year I'm super hopeful that we can go far. And this year, Josh Allen had a MVP type season. Hopefully, he gets the MVP. And I thought this was our year, and coming up short against Mahomes once again, like you said. And it's just, I just feel like it's the same movie every year, and it just sucks. It's a sucky feeling, and it's just like, what else you got to do to beat this team? So kind of lost for words. So.
Yeah, I can completely agree as a 49ers fan. One of the biggest headlines, and I'm sure you're all on it too, was the referees and the penalties in this game. What is your frustration on all these penalties, on the referees basically being an extension of this Chiefs team?
Yeah, it's been my biggest gripe all season, I think. And as a lot of football fans, like you guys know, it's just, as they've won, I think it's 17 straight one-score games, and I give them some credit, the Chiefs, for being able to win when it matters, but you also got to look at the flags thrown in key situations, and it's rarely against them. It's most often for them. And I thought there was 2 to 3 key instances in the Bills game where, Travis Kelce, for example, is taunting our players, and our Bills player retaliates, and we get thrown a penalty flag, and just stuff like that where they just, they kind of get the preferential treatment, and it's hard to beat a really good team that, I have respect for a team that knows how to win, but when you also have to play the refs, it's kind of impossible to win. And, I try to pride myself on not complaining too much about penalties, but with football recently and with kind of them favoring the Chiefs, it's hard not to complain about it. So.
Yeah, no, I feel your frustration. Now, I got one question about this game, because it's the thing that basically annoyed me the most about this thing. The 4th and 1 QB sneak. Did you remember that play? Josh Allen clearly over the line. I mean, was it a first down, Quinn?
Yeah, I think it was. It was 100% a first down. I honestly, there was actually a couple of plays where the spots were just wrong. I mean, there was I think it was the play before, or a couple plays before, where Kincaid made the catch and kind of fell on the first down line with the football. And it was the next play was 2nd and 1. And I was like it seemed obvious. And it was a close one with that Josh Allen QB sneak. But I think there's one angle they showed where you could clearly see that the ball got to that yard line, that mark.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked. Yeah. I was like just stunned and frustrated that they didn't spot it right, even because one of the refs had a better spot than the other one, and no,
they showed the two refs going two different areas where they spotted the ball. But Quinn, I'm so sorry for your Bills, man. Hopefully next year's their season. I mean, that's what we got to say every time, right?
yeah, it is what it is. It's like the Jordan era for basketball, where you have all those other good players that you got to beat Jordan. So Bills got to beat Mahomes eventually, and hopefully it's next year.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Quinn, thank you so much for coming on. We'll have to have you on live, and I'm going to have to ask you about what's the deal with you being a Bills and Broncos fan, but that's a conversation for another time.
Teaser right there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on the Perch. You're invited anytime. Have a good night, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Have a good night.
Peace out.
All right, bye.
So there you have it, firsthand from a Bills fan, clearly frustrated with the refs. But, I mean, he said it right out of, the whole atmosphere of sports. He's the Jordan right now of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes is. And in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the only person that's really done it so far, in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady is the only man. The actual GOAT has been able to do it so far. Joe Burrow was able to take down Mahomes one time, not finish the job in the Super Bowl.
I should have worn my Burrow jersey. I thought about it.
That would have been good. Next time when we have Quinn on.
Yeah, I'll have to wear my Burrow head jersey.
But transitioning now, as we're talking about the Super Bowl a little bit, Jacob, I have a couple Super Bowl trivia questions for you. Are you ready for them?
Yeah, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So just a disclaimer too. I'm a baseball fan. Football is like my number 2, 3 sport, but not as much as baseball. And then like basketball, hockey, all that. But
you know what? That's fair. And I'm going to give you some hints throughout these questions. We only got, how many? We got 3 here for you. Let's start it out. So Jacob, who has the most Super Bowl appearances?
So my thought with this question, with the Chiefs now going to it another time, is it has to be the Chiefs no longer the Patriots?
That is incorrect.
Okay, so
I'm not sure how many the Chiefs have, but I know it's not that. But half of your question is technically correct. You said no longer the Pats. The Patriots are, in fact, the team with the most Super Bowl appearances.
What do they have, like 9?
Double-digit numbers.
It's a double-digit.
Surprisingly. 11.
11. Dang,
which is actually
11.
Insane. They've been to, with Tom Brady, they went to 6 Super Bowls. And so I guess they went to 4 others. Or actually, no. They won 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. And then lost 3 with Brady, I think, something like that. So Brady had
Eli Manning.
Yeah, 2 was Eli Manning and 1 was Nick Foles.
That's
so
right.
6, 7, 8. So 9 with Tom Brady. And I guess back in the day they went to 2 others, which I think way before our time.
Yeah.
All right, good guess though.
I thought the Chiefs were way closer. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many the Chiefs have, but I think probably around 4 or 5 range. I'd assume something like that.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
I was thinking they had a few more back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. What two teams played in the lowest scoring Super Bowl? Hint: it's a more recent Super Bowl in the 2010s.
So I had two tracks. I went with this one, and again, this is like I didn't Google any information except for on this third question that I got ahead of time. So I had a clarifying question, but I had 2 guesses. One was Super Bowl 50 Broncos Panthers, but I don't think that was correct.
That is not correct.
Okay, so then my other thought was Niners Chiefs because I could not remember the score for the life of me.
That was also way not correct. The Chiefs put up 31 points. Garbage time touchdown at the end of it.
I don't remember that game very well. I just remember the missed pass by Garoppolo to Emmanuel Sanders.
I don't even want to talk about it. It is not the Niners Chiefs.
It's trauma block.
Yeah.
My other thought
Broncos Panthers was 24-10 actually. So.
Oh really? I thought it was way lower. Bengals Rams?
It was not the Bengals Rams, but the Rams are one of the teams.
Rams are one of the teams.
Yes.
Ooh. I'm definitely not getting this one. There's no way.
It was 2018 season. It was Rams, Patriots, Jared Goff versus Tom Brady. Can you guess the score of the game? It was the most boring Super Bowl of all time.
Wasn't it like 13-6 or something?
13-3.
13-3.
Yeah, the Rams didn't score. It was a defensive Super Bowl for sure. I think the Patriots scored. I think in the fourth quarter is when they scored the first touchdown.
I mixed the Bengals Rams with that.
Yeah.
Again, trauma blocking the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I prefer the Patriots over the Chiefs as of like 5 years ago.
5 years ago now, yeah.
So
I'd like the Patriots dynasty more.
Yeah, I'd rather
they just didn't torment the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 13-3. What do you guys remember about that Super Bowl? I just remember sitting there on my couch being like, man, the Niners really could be in this right. Actually, the Niners sucked that season. But, I mean, any other score, you would have expected Tom Brady to put up like 3 touchdowns. 13-3, terrible Super Bowl. Definitely a lot of people blocked that out of their memory. That was a Super Bowl
I just saw on Julian Edelman and Gronk's podcast that.
Were they talking about that one?
Yeah, they talked about that one. That was a Super Bowl that they beat the Rams so bad that they traded Jared Goff.
That's right. That was that season.
I think that was a snack-heavy Super Bowl for me. Not a lot of watching football.
More of waiting for the commercials for that one.
Yeah.
And I don't know how good those commercials were. But last question. Which 4 teams have never made it to the Super Bowl? Yeah. This is a little tough one.
This one's a tough one. So my clarifying question for this was, how many rings does Dan Marino have? Because I couldn't remember exactly everything. But yeah, he has no rings.
0. And I think I think he's only been to 1, and that was against the Niners, and we destroyed them 38-10 or something like that.
Keep the receipts. Yeah. Niners own the Dolphins.
Joe Montana, the GOAT.
So Cleveland Browns.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's 1.
Easy number 1.
Easy one, yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is also correct.
Okay.
2 for 2 so far.
Houston Texans.
/ Oilers. Well, technically not, yeah. But yeah, the Houston Texans franchise actually was in 2002. So I think the Oilers actually were the Titans.
Oh, that's right. So
it's a weird thing, but yeah.
That was my other guess, was the Tennessee Titans, which I don't know.
The Titans is not correct. They actually have been to the Super Bowl, and I think that Super Bowl was against the greatest show on turf, Rams, and they lost that Super Bowl.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah. It was like early 2000s, so it's not the Titans. I'll give you a hint. It is a NFC team, and this team was...
Oh, it's an NFC.
I'll just say NFC team. If you can't get it, I'll give you another hint.
My other guess, I feel like this is a dumb guess, but I was thinking it was the Washington Redskins / Commanders /
That is not
Washington
correct. They've won 3 Super Bowls.
See, my history is not as good.
It's okay. It's all right.
Detroit Lions.
Yep, Detroit Lions.
I'm so dumb.
I was going to say, my next guess is going to be they were in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I was, again, that's where my baseball history, I go back to the 1900s.
And that's all right.
But football, it's like, if I'm sub 2010, I'm like, all I know is Montana.
Right. But yeah. That was the NFL Super Bowl trivia, Jacob. You did a pretty good job on all the questions, honestly.
I'll have to do like baseball trivia or something for you.
That's going to be tough for me for sure. I mean, 2010 and above is probably where I'm only good at, basically from the Giants' first World Series.
Like who won the Gold Glove for right field in 1989?
I'll say I couldn't even give you a guess, honestly. Ken Griffey Jr.
I couldn't.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. That's it. I think that's going to do it for this podcast.
Episode
2, numero dos. All right. I think we'll end it there,
We'll
guys.
be rolling back with another episode pretty soon.
Pretty soon. The Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. We'll probably be back talking about the Super Bowl, maybe more. Maybe we'll have Quinn on, introduce you to a little something that I'm not going to spoil for now. It's going to be a little surprise as we get this podcast going. But that's going to do it for the Super Bowl NFL Championship Sunday, episode 2 of the Perch podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Cole McMahon here with Jacob Greene. I'll talk to you guys later.